open a brokerage. But when you saw EXP sat down with Rich, what was like the one or two most compelling things about EXP that caused you to join?
So I am probably a conundrum. At my previous brokerage, I had KV4, loved KV4, used it a lot. A lot of my closings came from it. Going out on my own, it would cost me 500. EXP, I get it for 85, right? So that was the number one thing. But then I thought the stock was really cool. I was like, look, I'm going to get stock for just doing what I do every single day. That's a no-brainer. That's awesome. Those were the two reasons. Revenue share at the time turned me off because I had experienced KW's profit share and people coming at me. So it kind of turned me off at first until I had one person organically join and got a check and it paid my car bill. And I was like, this is something I need to look into. So
That's awesome. So you joined EXP, you're like, I'm ready to go. Little kind of shy about maybe revenue share based on previous experiences. What like I guess besides like how I look at someone from joining EXP to getting that first agent to join and getting that first rev share check, which time was that?
3 months. It was 3 months. Yeah. So I wasn't going at it like full force. I was not treating it seriously, so to speak. And I learned a lot those first couple of years doing it. But it was really cool because I was sharing all the things that I had at EXP organically. They asked me a question and it just naturally occurred. And so it was really great. My first 3 months, all of a sudden my car bill is being paid consistently. Well, then it snowballs. And so I would say within the first 2.5 years, I had already recruited a total organization of about 50 people, with about 20 of those being level ones. And I had done it pretty organically without cold calling or anything like that. But the issue is I didn't know how to keep them. So as you guys can see, my organization now is 56 people. And I checked this morning, 56 people with 18 level ones. That is a big decrease. It's 53% retention for the full 5 years I've been here at EXP. And the reason being is I had no idea what I was doing in the beginning, and I didn't tap into the resources like you, AJ, and Lars and Rich. I was this lone wolf thinking, oh, I've got to do this all myself. I still had that competitive mindset. So I was very much no three-way calls, not going to do that, no third-party validation. And so once I tweaked the system back in 2020 a little bit, my retention has been off the charts.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I don't think that's an outlier with like that type of retention. The reality is real estate brokerages retention is always an issue. Turnover is high. Just because turnover is high for real estate agents, the average new agent, 90% fail in the first 3 years. And that's why it's so important to always be bringing on new people into the organization because good agents stay. I can look at my dashboard and see all the agents I've left over the years, and 90+%, probably even higher than that, that have left, sold less than like 2-3 houses in the previous 12 months. So we retain our good agents for the most part. But like you said, that the key for you discovered was tapping into other people, kind of getting running partners, as we always talk about, maybe aligning yourself to be a little closer to some people in your group and doing it. But I mean, 18 level ones, that's really incredible. And a group size of 56, we always say, you guys have heard, if you get to 50, you can get to 500. If you get to 500, you get to 5,000. So that's really exciting. Congratulations. What's been your biggest rev share check so far?
Biggest one was 7,000. And fun fact, I had that $7,000 check when I was bleeding agents. So you're right. We were bleeding away the agents that were not productive or didn't jump in or were brand new and just didn't cut it. But the agents that we were bringing on were more than compensating for them. And so that was really exciting. I remember the first time I got that, I saw in the dashboard $7,000. I looked at my husband and I was like, that's all, that's everything for the month. Like, I don't have to sell a house if I don't want to. Now I'm competitive. I like icon awards, so I still sell. It was amazing and life-changing. And the agents on my team in my organization that don't want to do revenue share, but they finally do, them getting their first checks and seeing that light bulb go off for them like it did me is really fun as well.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, I see your icon agent trophies there over your shoulder. That's amazing.
I just got my 5th one, so I'm excited.
Wow, congrats. So you got some stock.
Oh yeah, I love my stock.
Yeah,
So that gut feeling I had joining for the stock early on was very smart on my part.
yeah, heck yeah. Icon agent 5 years in a row coming. That's amazing. So go back to, year one, you're kind of just talking to whoever, it sounded like, sporadically. Well, cause you have 18 level ones, that would probably put you, gosh, top 1% of the company. But if we're looking at like the top 5% of attractors, that'd probably put you in the top 10% of agent attractors in terms of the number of ones are concerned. That's a good number. Once you started like getting familiar with rev share and be like, all right, I'm going to do this, like, was there a couple strategies that you really started to be like, okay, this is how I'm going to recruit, this is who I'm going to talk to, or has it always been kind of organic just because you're your top producer?
So early on, it was pretty organic. I stalked some of the real estate mastermind lab code agent boards. And so if I saw someone that maybe I had something in common with, I started as a stay-at-home mom of 3 in real estate, and I knew I could help push newer agents or mom agents in the right direction based off of what I struggled with. So I really targeted those types of people that were already asking, or if someone's complaining about something on that board that our brokerage could be a solution for, I would reach out to them. But other than that, it was really organic in our market. A lot of agents that were newer or had been licensed maybe 1 to 2 years and weren't seeing success where they were at were reaching out to me. That was great. And at the time I was like, go, 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 go. I had no boundaries, no systems. I was talking 12 o'clock at night. Like, it was great, but it wasn't great. In 2020, I switched gears on how I really tried to attract. And that's when I noticed a difference. So one of the things that I've learned along the way, and we hear a lot, is, hey, if you're a level 4, you're never going to attract level 6s, 7s, 8s. So how do you get to that level if you're not? Well, you work. I started doing coaching, leadership development, getting in the rooms. Like, I never did the EXP cons and the shareholder summits and stuff like that because I didn't see the point. Well, now I saw the point. If you put yourself in rooms with 6s, 7s, 8s, 9s, you're naturally going to rise. And then you can start to attract those better agents. Also, not being afraid or getting mad at the people that told me no. When I reached out to a big agent and they told me no, I didn't get pissy with them, for lack of a better term, or delete them or block them. I keep in touch with them and I still comment on their stuff, because when they come back, I want them to remember Alexis Hughes. I've got an agent I've talked to for 3.5 years, since 2020. He's a brokerage owner in Chicago. He's finally ready to take the lead, and he's coming with me because I put in the time and I didn't always push, and I showed that I actually cared. So I think just organically connecting and being conscientious about what you put out there. There's so much content you can put out there that will speak to everyone, but you need to put content out there for you to attract the people that you want. I love new agents. I was a new agent, but in reality, if I'm working on this revenue share and building it, new agents aren't going to be the easiest way to do it. They're not going to be the ones you retain. So now I need to go after cappers. I need to go after icon agents, team leaders, brokerage, and what I put out there will speak to them. If I'm constantly putting out, oh, I capped, or, oh, we've got great KV core, they're not going to look twice. But if I start putting out, oh, as a team leader, this is how EXP has helped me. Oh, guess what? You have multiple brokerages and multiple locations, and when they're franchises, you're paying all these fees. Well, you could do that at EXP for $149. Educating and getting rid of the myths that team leaders and brokerage owners has really helped raise the caliber of agents we bring on.
Yeah. So I love the strategy that you took. Reach out to agents who you have something in common with, being a single mom. Like, that's a great place to start. Go to the different Facebook groups, like lab code agents, and just observe. Don't get on there and start spamming the EXP. Like, sometimes you see, like, that always cracks me up when you see the, which partnership, which one, comments, 150 or EXP. It's like, okay, that person's not going to pick you. Don't start getting fights with other agents. Why your brokerage is better than the other? And it goes both ways with multiple companies. But just watch what people are saying. I mean, if you're great at expired listings, let's say that was my niche. I could go to lab code agents, type in expired listings in the search box. All the threads from like forever are going to come up on expired listings. I can go in there, read the comments, and for those that seem to have some interest and want to pursue that lead activity, whether it's Zillow, whether it's open houses, whether it's just you're really good with your clients, get referrals, doesn't matter. You start to have friend request those people, send them a direct message, something of value. Hey, I noticed from like a year ago, I came across this old thread on Lab Code Agents. I think you were interested in expireds at the time. Just out of curiosity, did you ever get started with that? The reason I asked, that's how I built my business. As a conversation, what was your approach when you were reaching out to those single moms? Did you find their phone number, call them, direct message?
So early on, I would just message them like right then and there, send them a message, didn't matter what time of night it was. And that was great because it was giving me practice and everything. But what I learned is the ones that I would message like that would come on would then expect me to answer at those times of night and thought it was bait and switch that I didn't. So what I started doing is instead of messaging them and doing all that, I'd friend request them at that time, but I have my why I joined EXP. And a lot of that was talking about how it's helped me as a mom of 3 and things of that nature. And so instead of sending them that direct message right then and there, I'd friend request them, I'd drop a comment on the thread with that video. And then the next day I would follow up. What that did is it spoke to them directly. It set my boundaries early on, but it also let any of the other moms go ahead, click anonymously on that video, because you would see a direct correlation in me dropping that video comment and the views on YouTube going up. And then they would reach out too if they were interested. I would get a lot of cold messages myself just from the video comment. So having those videos pre-done for solutions for everything in YouTube and responding with a comment will get you people that you would have never known were even looking before.
Yeah, that's gold. I love that approach. One of the things that, if you guys kind of feel like lost in agent attraction right now, just when you're listening to Alexis or anyone that we're talking to, just if you like something, try it. Just 90 days is what you and create a system and time block it in, because what she's describing here is a really great strategy, especially if you feel like I don't know how to reach out to, I'm a newer agent, I'm a lower producer, I'm going to tap my market. This is a great way to build your list, and it's coming from a place of adding value, and it's targeted in that you're not just taking a shotgun approach and spamming everybody. You're reaching out to people that you have a solution for. So this is really good. Out of all the 18 people that you currently have, like do you know how many total level ones you've had over the years?
35.
35. How many, I guess, reach outs or conversations about EXP would you say you had to have in order to recruit 35? Any guess at that number?
I mean, on average, I tend to close people within 1 or 2 conversations. There were a few bigger players that maybe took 3 or 4 conversations to get them on board. Just because they're bigger, the financial implications are much larger, but most of them, it was 1 to 2 phone conversations, because what they were seeing had already kind of submitted in their mind. They wanted to join. They just had some questions.
That's good. Awesome. Do you still have these videos on your YouTube channel? I'm sure everyone's wondering, I want to go to her YouTube channel.
Yeah. So, it's Alexis Hughes Realtor is what it is. And they're all up there, even from my less, professional quality videos. Like I'm talking me, no makeup, celebrating Barry opening the UK. Like they go way back.
Okay, awesome. I'll give everyone a really good idea. And it's when those old videos, like if you guys are like, okay, this is cool, I like the idea of using YouTube as a tool to actually prospect, which I haven't heard this before, so this is a new approach for me. But you're afraid to get on video. Watch people's old videos. Like when I was getting started on YouTube, I would go to Tom Ferry's, like the bigger YouTubers, and I would go and watch their oldest videos. You can sort by oldest videos at the top. And it was like so bad, even for like Tom Ferry, it was so polished. Now it's a great presenter, everything's high production value. But his first ones was not, they weren't great, and that gave me the encouragement to give myself permission, like, okay, AJ, you're gonna suck at first, and gradually you're gonna suck less, and eventually you'll be pretty good. And then maybe one day you'll be great. I'm not there yet, but I don't suck, in my opinion, at least anymore on YouTube. But my first one, I kept most of my early ones on. Some of them were too cringy, so I definitely put them on private, but I still have them there. But there's still some cringy ones up there if you guys want to check mine out. It gives people encouragement, it's like, you gotta start somewhere, even with attraction. Like when you started, you're like, I'm gonna call Lars. I'm gonna call Kristen Vining, big agent in our market, Charlotte. Like, you're like, I'm just gonna start. And that's how you learn, it's like, you decided, hey, I'm gonna start with people who maybe aren't at the top level, just so I have some practice before I approach those people, which isn't a bad strategy either. But everyone, like, just know you're gonna suck at this at first. You're gonna suck at attraction. You're gonna suck at making videos. When you're a brand new real estate agent selling your first house, you probably sucked. I mean, I remember opening my first lockbox with buyers, being nervous. Like, I was like, I should probably practice opening the super lockbox before I got to this house, because like, this is my first time, and I was nervous, like, and that
I
sounds
got
so
you
silly
beat.
now.
My very first listing. Oh my God, AJ. I got the listing signed and then it just sat. And I was like, hey, I was talking to my bank. I was like, well, when are the photos and all that going to happen? And he goes, well, have you ordered them? I had no idea. I didn't even have MLS access. So I sucked at production at first too, but you get better the more you do.
Yeah, I think we fall in this success trap that we become really successful realtors, and then now we're starting this agent attraction thing, and we're afraid to fail. We're like, well, I'm successful as a real estate agent. It's kind of scary to fail and put yourself out there on this attraction thing. I've been guilty of that in different opportunities. It's like, well, I'm already successful. Why really put myself out there? Why risk my ego? Why face the rejection? And once you get over that, that's that next level of life that you really desire, and if you're at a level of life where you're happy and you're like, you don't need to face rejection anymore, and that's where you want to be in life, well, then hey, you don't need to be on these calls anymore. Congratulations. But if you're like, I want something out of this attraction thing, well, it's time to start risking your ego. It's time to start putting yourself out there. This is great, Alexis. So you really hit lab coat agents hard. Any other strategies that you think would be helpful to share?
So I actually wrote them down because I wanted to be
Awesome.
prepared for you guys.
I love it. That's amazing.
So I would say systems are important. It's great to put stuff out there, but I equate everything to what I do with real estate. And if I put a listing on my Facebook and say, hey, check out this listing, and it's just a picture, I don't know who's going to go to Zillow and get on a Zillow Premier agent call. I don't know who's going to call their friend or cousin that's an agent. But if I say, hey, great listing in this area, click the link below for more information, I'm going to get their information. I can follow up with them. So I equated that to agent attraction. It's great that I'm putting out EXP stock is great, and this is how it can help you in your life. And I'm putting this video out. But if I'm not capturing their information, I'm not really seeing who wants me to reach out to them. I know me personally, when I was thinking of EXP, if someone would have put something, I would have clicked it and I would have looked at it. And if they would have called me, I would have talked to them because I was already interested. So having systems in place where you can take in people's forms. This can be done in several different ways. I know AJ has a ton of information on it. I early on just did a simple Google form that was attached to a landing page through KB Core. It's free, easy, you're good to go. Then my onboarding. I noticed my onboarding wasn't so great because I'm still doing production. I haven't onboarded in 4 years. I don't know what the process is like. So making sure that you have onboarding help. We have a great onboarding specialist, and we tell people from day one, once you fill out the application, she's going to reach out to you and she's going to handhold you throughout the process. And then a automated email, welcome to EXP. And I know they have orientation and everything, but it's a completely different world when you're coming from a traditional brokerage to a virtual. So remembering that and going back to the basics is really helpful. So they have a welcome to EXP email. It has helpful links, things for them to refer to. As far as attraction itself and what we're doing to get people interested, know the solutions. You may not give two craps about Curvio because you don't sell anymore or you don't have a lot of listings, but you need to know about it because that's going to help an agent that maybe is like, Alexis, I have a lot of listings or I work with investors. I need tools that are going to help me with that. Imagine going on a video or just even posting slides with music and saying, here's how Curvio can help you, or talking with them about the health insurance. I know we've heard a lot about that, but nobody's really touched on what it did for their family. So if you use it, have you shared that story? Another, like all our Sky Slope. Why is Sky Slope so good? Well, it keeps you out of real estate jail. We have hundreds of people in the background making sure you don't get in trouble. And that saved me a time or two. Making sure that everything you're putting out there is truthful to EXP, not catty to other agents and brokerages. If people don't like that. Early on, I was guilty of getting on Lab Coat Agents, Real Estate Mastermind, and if anybody down EXP, I went at them like a bulldog. Like, and now I've learned, I've matured, and now I let it roll off my back. I'll make a comment with the correct information, and then we move about our day. And honestly, our CRM, your CRM is going to be amazing, just like it is in real estate. Follow up. You have people clicking these links. They may not answer you at first, but are you following up with them? Are you adding them on Facebook to know their birthday and sending them a birthday message? Like, these systems are there to help be you when you can't be you because you're busy. Use them to your advantage and be out there. You've got to let people know what you're doing, what your wins are, what we're doing at EXP. Put it out there, even if it's not video. Photos are amazing. Pop it in Canva, make a reel, put some fun music on it. You can see on Instagram what hashtags for real estate and what songs are trending at that very moment when you're posting. Make sure you're hitting those. Comment. Another great way that I've been able to attract is following other agents, and not just following them and hoping they follow me, but commenting on their good stuff. Hey, great video. That's an awesome listing. Congrats on your closing. When they start to see your name pop up more and more and more, when you pick up the phone to call them to talk about EXP, they're going to know you like you're a friend. It's like, hey, we graduated Facebook together. Like, do that. Build those connections. There's a reason when EXP was started, it wasn't called agent recruiting. It's called agent attraction. And you don't want to work with people that you don't like. So make sure you're putting your vibe out there so the right tribe is coming your way.
That's good. I love that. You can tell Alexis treats this like a business, which that's what you need to do with attraction. If you guys have questions too, start writing them down, put them in the comments, and or you can come on and ask them by raising your hand. So where do you see this going for you in the next, say, 3 years, three to 5 years? Like, how many would you like to see in your organization? How much money per month? I always like to hear what people's goals are. And once you achieve that, what's your lifestyle look like?
So I think in the next 3 to 5 years, I would really like to break 1,000 agents. We're well on our way. So this year alone, we've already entered the UK. So we're second country. We're about to enter the third. And when you start entering new countries, it's a whole different ball game, and it just changes things. You get excited again. You're learning new stuff again. It's awesome. So I would like 1,000 in the next 3 to 5 years in my total organization. I want a good, comfortable lifestyle. I don't need a bunch of stuff. So I would say like 50 grand a month in revenue share would be awesome for me.
Yeah, just 50 grand.
I really don't know at what point in revenue share it'll get to the point where I don't care about the production and the stocks, right? It used to be I cared about the production because I had to pay our family's bills. Then it got to the point where revenue share covered that. So I didn't have to, but I was like, why leave it on the table? Then it got to the point where it's like, well, I just like doing it. And here I am. So I'm wondering when that shift is going to happen where I'm like, I'm never selling a house ever again. I don't care. But that's my goal. And I think life after that, the two main things is number one, being more present in my children's lives. Having that revenue share cover monthly bills has given me an ability to say no and feel good about it when I don't want to work with certain clients, or an agent comes to me that I know I don't mesh with and I'm not going to like working with. And I can tell them no and refer them to someone else. But that is number one, being able to be more present in my kids' lives, but also bless others. When you have financial freedom, it gives you the ability to make changes in other areas of society that you otherwise wouldn't be able to.
Yeah, so good. So I'm just more or less curious, like, where does your actual real estate business come from? Because I mean, you were pretty new when you joined EXP. You only got licensed in 2017, so pretty, relatively recent. It's not like it's been 10, 20 years. You're a mom of 3. You're attracting agents. You're an icon agent 5 times in a row. Like, where does your personal real estate business come from?
So it's changed over the years, but it's always been about at least 50% is my SOI, is what I call it. I was new here in Charlotte, so I didn't really know anybody. So Facebook, I am a master at joining a mom's group and making friends via comments. So originally it was parks, moms, Facebook groups, got most of that from there, and my neighborhood too. So guys, if you're focusing on production and you're not in a community Facebook group for your community, you're missing out. My first year, 7 of my listings came from that group, and it was just posting market stats. So early on, that was about half of it was from that, and the other half I would say came from the leads my brokerage was giving me. Once I totaled up how much I had given them, I was like, yeah, I can buy my own zip code if I keep this. Like, I don't need you to do that. Like, some things started to make sense at that point. And so the second year in real estate, I invested in a Zillow zip code. At that point, about 75% of my business was still SOI from what I talked about, but then referrals from them, and about 25% from Zillow. I called those my supplement. I never relied on them, but it was great if I was not busy to be able to pick up a call and convert a lead. Third year, I stopped answering Zillow calls altogether, started popping those out to team members and strictly past clients, referrals from other agents, because I had built up a reputation at that point, and SOI still, and that's how it is still to this day. It's been great not to answer Zillow calls.
That's amazing. So you were new to Charlotte too, or the Charlotte area. You guys can see how there's a correlation between what you're doing in your real estate business where you're having success and traction. You know, you built community through a community group. What was that community group on Facebook? Was it a Facebook
so there was a ton. There was a ton. So Crunchy Moms, which if you don't know what a Crunchy Mom is, they like all organic everything. I am not necessarily that way, but my friend Sherry is, and so she helped me. Moms of Union County, Moms of Mooresville. And the reason you add yourself to these groups is I was not the mom that went to play group dates and drank wine and all that. That was not me. I was the mom that was like, okay, we're gonna, go and play in the mud. And when I take my kids out, they might still be in their pajamas. Like, that was me. But I would join the groups, and if there was questions being asked that I could help with, I would answer them. Again, giving value. You don't always have to be a used car salesman. You don't always have to jump right to the close. Give them some value. And again, I went a step further. If someone said, we're thinking about buying in Mooresville, I wouldn't just say, hey, I'm a realtor, I can help you. I would respond, Mooresville is a great area. Here's a link. And this is why I love KV Core, because you can do a multi-property squeeze page like that. Here's a link of all homes available in Mooresville, 500 and under. If you have any questions, let me know. Then they click, and they're in my website, and they're in my database. So being intentional with what you're doing, and the end result in attraction works the same way.
Yeah, and you took that strategy and changed it a little bit and did it with attraction. That's amazing. I had a lot of success with Facebook groups too with my attraction early on, because I was already doing it to learn how to sell real estate. So I was building relationships with those Facebook groups, finding role play partners, finding accountability partners, and a lot of those people joined my EXP organization because we had formed a relationship through those groups. It's a great way to do it, guys. You just got to do something consistently over time. It really doesn't matter what you do. You just got to do something that is something that you're like, okay, I can do this. I can do this consistently, and it'll work. But it's got to be consistent over time. You can't build, I was going to say a 6-pack, in 3 months. It takes much longer time than that, but don't ask me about that. That's not my area of specialty. I haven't seen my act in about 15 years. But consistency wins the day with everything in life. That's a fact. If you guys have any questions, happy to stick on another 5-10 minutes and answer them. But I just want to share a couple wins that came in as we were chatting. Michael's business partner was in the room next door with an agent talking about EXP. Amazing. Rosemary said she recruited an agent from Real in San Antonio to bring her to build. Awesome. Good job, Rosemary. That's huge, guys. When we do events, whether it be EXPCon, shareholders, build, like if it's in that city, start reaching out to agents in that city. It's not rocket science. It's easier to get someone to an event that's in San Antonio, that's doing business there, than it is to get someone that's in Florida. They don't gotta fly, and it takes less time to get there. So
can I share something?
Yes,
about
please.
that. When you are recruiting agents, whether they're in your market or out of your market, if you're not posting on social media and tagging them and welcoming them, you're missing out, because we want people to see they joined and reach out to them and ask questions too. A lot of the agents that didn't want to do revenue share organically got into it from posts like that. So keep that in mind, celebrate them and tag them.
Yeah, great point. Would you say Labco agents is the main group that you networked in?
Early on, yes. In fact, a lot of the agents that are my level ones from out of state all came from lab coat agents. I mean, California, Savannah, Georgia, Tampa, Florida, Vero Beach, those are all agents I met in lab coat agents. I didn't know them from Adam before that.
So one thing you guys can do is go into lab coat agents like later today and start searching these topics and see how people are communicating. Heck, you might even be able to search Alexis's name and find some chats that she was on. Not sure if that will work, but it might. Just go to these groups. There's so many, and once you're in lab coat agents, you'll probably be suggested other groups. There's so many Facebook groups. Just go to Facebook and just type in real estate agent groups, real estate agent referral groups, real estate agent coaching groups. I mean, there's thousands of groups that you can join. Lab coat agents is just one of the bigger ones. And just start networking, start reaching out, start adding to your list. Just make a goal. Hey, I'm going to connect with 10 new agents a week in this Facebook group. You know, and again, don't get in there and spamming people, add value, then get in their DMs, then start to have a conversation about EXP once you've created some type of relationship. Great way to do it.
And you can see the questions and the myths. And so if you're wondering, hey, what kind of videos should I be making, or what kind of content should I be putting out there? You can see the questions and the myths. Make a list of 5 topics that you see in these mastermind groups and start countering those. And then you can even drop the comment after you've made it on that post. It doesn't matter if it came up a year ago. Reignite.
I haven't really seen people delete, like the moderator delete your comments if they had a video leak.
No.
Really?
Because most of the time, as long as you're not sharing something in those groups that can be seen as competing with their coaching and stuff like that,
Right.
then you're fine. So like, instead of doing a video about how awesome KV Core is and me training on it and stuff, I wouldn't drop that on a comment looking at CRMs. But what I do is I have a 10-second or 10 things I love about KV Core, boom, 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 boom. And then I drop that video and I say, hey, we use KV Core, love it. Did a video on my top 10 reasons why, check it out. But at the end, I always do a plug. In the end of your video, always do the plug. Alexis Hughes, North Carolina, South Carolina agent with eXp Realty. If you're thinking of joining a team or you want to know more about this CRM, give me a call, 704-773-2117. Like, always plug yourself. Ask for the follow. Ask for the subscribe.
That's amazing. Success leaves clues, guys. Check out her YouTube channel. Check out what she's doing on her Facebook page. You just kind of see how she puts herself out there, because this is attraction. To wrap it up, what is one piece of advice that you would give an agent looking to start attraction, or someone looking to recommit to it? It can be inspirational, or maybe where to get started, something tactical.
So tactically, I would say you need to time block. I am the queen of hating time blocking, but I didn't see myself get consistently good at revenue share until I time blocked. And you don't have to overwhelm yourself at first. Mondays, spend 30 minutes, time block 30 minutes. I'm going to make my list. It's like a sniper list, right? This is where I'm going to go in. I'm going to research these groups and figure out who it is I really want to connect with. On Tuesdays, give yourself an hour. That's where you're going to try and make calls with the people that you maybe have DM'd before and haven't connected with on a phone call. That's where you're going to go in and send these DMs. Just 1 hour. Then on Wednesdays, block off whatever EXP Explain call is happening and make sure you invite people to it. Tuesdays, if you're not inviting people to EXP Explain calls happening on a Wednesday, invite them to it, jump on with them. If you do that every single week, you're going to get someone to join. At every 10 people, you should have 1 person joining. So if you're reaching out to 10 people a week, you should have 1 person joining a week. And then you've got the Explain calls doing the heavy lifting for you. That's tactical. That's what I did early on in 2020 when I really started focusing and using this like a business. Inspirationally, you're gonna, this is so cliche, but you're gonna miss every single shot you don't take. So missing a shot is a good thing. Getting a no is a good thing. Because guess what? Like one step closer to making the shot, one step closer to getting the person. And then I would say, when you get them, don't drop them. Worst thing in the world, and one of the worst things we have is we'll get people as level ones, and I was guilty of this early on, and then we never talk to them again. We're like, yay, our job's done. And it's not. I'm not saying you have to talk to everybody in your organization because that's unrealistic, but your level one should feel loved on. They should feel supported. If they call you, answer the phone within reason. And then teach your level ones how to be leaders themselves. Because if you don't teach them how to duplicate what you've done, you're just going to take on their level two, or your level twos as your level ones. And then you're going to get burnt out, and then you're going to hate it. And you're going to forget why you ever started doing this.
Great advice. This has been awesome. I'm fired up. I'm going to be hopping in some Facebook groups later this week and add that to my strategy. And I'll be dropping some YouTube links to see how it goes. I think that's great and fun too. Great way to give back, add value. Can't wait to see when you hit 1,000 agents making 50 grand a month, what that life will look like. But definitely when you break 100, let's get you back on, get an update. I love how systematic you are, the way you treat like a professional. I can tell you put a lot of thought into it, a lot of effort. So I just want to congratulate you and honor you for that. Appreciate you being on. And until next time, can't wait to see you at 100.
100 agents, December.
Let's go. We'll see
Have
you
a good
guys.